All right. Believe that we are live. I haven't done a live stream in a long time, so bear with me if you are joining in on this as I make sure that I got everything set up correctly over here. So work with your boy for a second, please. Work with your boy for a second. All right. Cool. Okay, I think that I got everything set up right. I got my chat pulled over to the side, so hopefully this is going to be working correctly. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS here to do one of my first up to lock. Oh, well, not even up to lock. Afternoon live breakdown type of everything going on for this right here. I know if you guys are popping into the comment section right now, you couldn't hear me at first because I was muted. I was talking to my wife on the phone. So if you guys are now catching up to me, yeah, there we go. Get the timestamps going. Boom. All right, there we go. All right. So sorry for everything. Your boy been busy today. It was a very busy day for me, but we're going to jump into this because of course it's 7 games going on 5 Eastern Standard Time right now. So we got 2 hours before the slate actually locks. Some injury news and stuff that we have to get before the slate tips off and everything. But of course, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content your boy drops over here on the channel, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos help you guys win some money. With that being said, and that out the way, real quick, my video yesterday, the mic messed up. That was on me. It's a system error. It is never my mic. Whenever you guys are trying to watch the video and you comment down in the comment section, hey, the audio is going in and out. It is something in my Windows that I cannot fix. I have to remember to go in every day and update the freaking volume level of the mic because it turns itself down for whatever reason. So I have to keep turning it back up in order to get it to be right. It's good today. If you guys can hear me pretty good, just let me know down in the comments. I can see it over there on my side. And with that being said, I still put out a quick injury news and notes over here for you guys on the Patreon for you guys to be able to see that. I also posted the same thing on YouTube as well. That's why I say hit the subscribe button, because you can see my posts when I post them on the community tab underneath my YouTube channel. I don't know really too many people that are using or utilizing the YouTube post spot like that, kind of like a Twitter or whatever, but this is the realest quickest way for you to get any news. If you're not trying to watch the videos and things like that, you will be able to see everything that I post and share over there for you guys, which I've also been posting double up parlays for FanDuel. There'll be one coming out after this video is done. I'll be posting a double up parlay over there on FanDuel again today. I got 4 plays that I like. Was sticking with 3, but I found 4 that I really do like for today. We're gonna keep on just trying to double it up, build that bankroll over on FanDuel. Love to play those alt lines. You guys know it. I preach about it. I talk about it. Alt lines are honestly the way to go, especially on the sports books. You don't have to play straights. Don't get married to the straights. Yesterday was not bad, but I do fully believe that your boy is cursed. This was the core yesterday. Alex Burke, Denny Avnia, okay game from him. Jonas Valanciunas. If the game would actually stay closer. And real quick, I am sorry for the Dallas Mavericks. As a fan of the basketball game, I am sorry for how your season has completely derailed and just been effed up by 1, a stupid trade, 2, the injuries, man. AD probably done for the season right now, because what's the point of AD playing when you just lost Kyrie for the season? That right there. Honestly, when I saw the way that his leg bent, it reminded me straight up of I think it was Nick Chubb for the Cleveland Browns when he effed up his leg in that game. Like, that's exactly what that injury reminded me of, straight up. Definitely tough to go back up there and go to the line and shoot those 2 free throws, but still, man, that was whew. I'm sorry for Dallas. Y'all going through it. Y'all are. I know y'all gonna hate Nico for a very, very long time after that right there. And then, of course, I was very high on Asar. He went out there, 40+ fantasy points. Beautiful day. Just chef's kiss to go ahead and seal the deal. But your boy played Desmond Bane. I played Luke Kennard. And I went ahead and I played Jaren Jackson Jr. And Jaren Jackson Jr. leaves last night after playing, what, maybe 3 minutes with a injury and did not come back. I am cursed. That is legit 4 to 5 days straight of a player getting injured that I roster, that I play in my DFS line. Tonight, I'm hoping I break that curse, because I actually somewhat do like the slate. Going over the injury news and stuff that we got going on for today. Houston Rockets taking on the Indiana Pacers. They are on the back end of a back-to-back, but they rested pretty much everybody yesterday. Everyone that was on the injury report besides Freddie V, they are going to play today. Freddie V is going to be out, so that means we will get the Amen Thompson at the point guard position, and this is a good matchup for that, especially the fast pace that the Pacers play at. I really think that this might be one of those games where we can get a triple-double from Amen. Like, if not triple-double, definitely a double-double. That would be something I would look to on the books, but this is one of those spots right there. Or maybe a do like a crazy 8 with a men for his 8 assists or 8 rebounds. I really do like his rebounds today as well. And then Tyrese Halliburton for his 8 assists, because he's been cooking since the All-Star break. We're looking at Tyrese Halliburton of old. Over on the Indy side, they're still probably going to be without Bernard Mathurin. He's doubtful to play. That's going to, of course, boost players off the bench over there for them. And then, of course, definitely some more uses right there for the starters, especially one named Aaron Nesmith, who's been playing pretty well. Toronto taking on Orlando. This is a repeat game for Toronto. They just played Orlando, been off for a break. Orlando, they played another game in between them, but this is pretty much same thing that we just saw not too long ago. For them, Grady Dick is going to be out for Toronto along with Ochai Agbaji. So definitely will open up some minutes for Walters, who should get inserted into the starting lineup. And then maybe everyone's favorite darling off the bench, which we'll talk about that when we get over to DraftKings. On the Orlando side of things, Cole, who owes me money, Anthony, is game time decision. Maybe he's going to be out. I hope he is. So the way they can let Anthony Black go ahead and get the start, because I would much rather see sophomore go out there and get me 15 to 20 fantasy points versus Cole Anthony, who's been in the league for way too long, go out there and do nothing. Other than that, everyone else is pretty good over there for Orlando. Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks, who are on the back end of a back-to-back. Kyle Kuzma, game time decision. Giannis, he still looks like he's on that minutes limit. He's only playing roughly 32 to maybe 35 fantasy points, maybe, if we can get up to that 35. Really haven't seen that limit come up off him. I haven't seen any new news in regards to the minute limit upside, but he's been crushing in that time. This is a good matchup for him here going up against the Atlanta Hawks. So definitely, hopefully this will be a good spot for him here. Atlanta on their side, like I said, back in a back-to-back for them. They're only going to be without Vich Krejci and Larry Nance Jr. Trae Young was a game time decision, but fully expect for him to play. We do got to get that Kuzma news right there, because that is pretty big, especially considering they're already missing Pat Connaughton, Bobby Portis. I would imagine that maybe we could probably get like a AJ Green, or they might just go ahead and start Jackson, put him back into the starting lineup, move Prince back down to the 3 type of thing over there for the Bucks. Golden State Warriors taking on New York Knicks. Golden State Warriors back in a back-to-back. They just played going up against Charlotte last night. Steph Curry game time decision might be a legitimate game time decision. I haven't seen too much on what's going on with Curry. I know that he had been dealing with like knee injuries and stuff like that throughout the season. Maybe this is just precautionary just because they are on a back-to-back, but it is Steve Kerr and it is a back-to-back. So that is kind of scary, like just being very honest right there. Steve Kerr and back-to-back do not mix. Pretty much almost like almost like the Cleveland Cavaliers or the freaking Boston Celtics. Like it's you don't know sometimes when it comes down to some of these coaches what they're going to do, their rotations and stuff like that. But hopefully we will get that news right there for this, because if they do rule Curry out, I can see a world where they just bump everyone up one. Pod play the point, Moses at the 2, Jimmy Butler at the 3, Draymond Green at the 4, and then you just go ahead and start post. You've been pretty well running post already. You started post when Jimmy Butler had to miss that one game for his back, so I can see them doing the same thing here, putting post in the line, especially because Gary Payton, who I'd imagine would have came in and started, he's going to be out today as well. On the New York Knickerbocker side, Karl-Anthony Towns, that's a big one. Need to know if Towns is going to be playing or not, because if Draymond Green's the starting center, Towns honestly has the size, but he just has to be physical, like actually be big cat, not little cat today. Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Chicago Bulls. This one, of course, pretty big spread, 12.5. Chicago Bulls got a ton of players on their injury report over here today. Cleveland, Evan Mobley's already been ruled out, so we probably will get Isaac Okoro at the starting power forward spot. Or when Donovan Mitchell missed, we did get to see Hunter put into the starting lineup over here. So I kind of feel like, because Hunter is a big, he can play the 4 spot. He can definitely play the 4. I could see him, just because Chicago kind of somewhat is small, in my eyes they're small. I mean, Buzelis, he's a decent size, he's a decent size at 6'5", or not 6'5", like 6'7", 6'8", but I still think Hunter could easily come in and start right there. But for the Bulls, we do need to know if Josh Giddey's going to be in. We do need to know if Alonzo is going to be playing or not, because that's really their team right there. Kobe White, of course, if those two miss, that would be just all the usage over there for him. And then, of course, Big Vooch, he's already going to be out, and Herter, he is a game-time decision. Philadelphia 76ers on their back end of a back-to-back, taking on the Minnesota Timber Pups. Quentin Grimes, game-time decision, played last night. Kelly Oubre did not play last night, was sick, but fully expect to play today. PG-13, he is a game-time decision. He missed last night, possibly for him to be out, because I don't see any reason to play a vet that has dealt with nagging injuries left and right. If PG was to play, that usage should be sky high. Definitely a tougher matchup for him going up against the Timber Pups, but definitely who's going to take it from him, unless you're going to get Quentin Grimes jacking up 25 shots again. Edwards tweaked his ankle last night, game time decision. And then the ghost of Andre Drummond pass looks like he might be back in our lives in regards to like a really great fantasy point upside player. Granted, the matchup going up against Naz Reid, who is a stretch big, will be a little bit tougher for him, because you're going to be drawing Drummond out of the paint. Trying to get him to defend out there on that line, because everyone over here, honestly, from Minnesota, they shoot threes. Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, who is dealing with a groin strain, played 34 minutes in the first game back. If he plays tonight, I would imagine no minutes limit once again. That'll be great for him. But that's the news that we got to get over here from this game. And then Brooklyn Shitters taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Clowney's going to be out. They got D'Lo back. Jackson Hayes. No, not Jackson Hayes. Jesus, what the heck is that kid's name that was just playing the point guard for them, who did Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes. He's no longer with the team, so do not play Killian Hayes if you are looking for that right there. Don't do that. And then on San Antonio Spurs side, Bassey is going to be out for them. You still got Biyombo starting at the center spot over here. And that's pretty much it for the main slate. These other two games right here, late nights, maybe I might look at doing like a late night lineup. If you guys want that, let me know down in the comment section. I will definitely drop that for you guys over here on YouTube on the community tab. But if you want to see that, if you guys want to get that, you definitely got to hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss that right there, because that will be where that would be posted. Check the comments real quick before we keep going. Like I said, it has been a minute since your boy has done a live stream, so thank you for everyone that's tuning in. Don, yes, your boy is back to do a live stream. We're gonna see if I do this continuously. I typically don't like to do the live streams, because I got a lot of stuff going on, and I could pause whenever I'm doing recording, walk away, come back. But it is late in the day. I want to be able to answer questions that I normally wouldn't be able to answer. So giving you guys that chance right here. So if you guys got any questions or anything, please drop them down in the comment section. I will go ahead and give you guys whatever sauce answers and stuff like that I can give out. Starting with it, looking at the Houston Rockets taking on the Indiana Pacers. On the Houston Rockets side, like I said, we should have everyone here playing except for Freddie V. This is going to be a fast-paced game. This is going to be paced up for the Houston Rockets, who play at one of the slower paces in the league. So more possessions and everything for them, and I think this is going to definitely benefit a couple of players. One of the players that I talked about it for a second ago that is going to give dividends to is going to be Amen Thompson, who without Freddie V, we know will start at the point guard spot. Amen, when he played versus the Pacers earlier this season, he only played 17 minutes, was playing off the bench in that game. But of course, we've seen even with players being back, the dude's still been inside the starting lineup. When he plays in these games where you're going up against someone that picks up the pace, typically we can see roughly about a good 35-40 safety floor for him. And I do like that at that 8,500 price tag. I don't hate that at all. I think that's actually going to be pretty good for him here in the space. Was rested yesterday, so we don't got to worry about the back-to-back issues that we typically see and have with him. So I definitely can see myself getting there. If you guys want to pay up for it, definitely Shangoat 9,100, a little bit on the expensive side. Not really what I'm looking to at the center spot on today. I do think there might be some pretty good spots in regards to like Onyeka Okongwu, who's coming up later on, Wendell Carter Jr. We can still go to Zach Collins as well, and then Drummond. He's still going to be in contention to play, even though his matchup is going to be a little bit tougher. But 9-1 definitely would make for a decent stud that you can go to. Opposing centers recently going up against the Pacers, they haven't been faring too well. Zach Collins 24 fantasy points, Khalil Ware 24, Jakob Poeltl 19. The only one that's had a real big breakout game, and you can kind of compare the games to it, would have been the Joker, who went out there and dropped 65 fantasy points. So definitely something you might want to look at, but not really in my wheelhouse. Jalen Green is the only starter that did play minutes yesterday, only 25 minutes versus them, versus the OKC Thunder last night. So he's the only one that will be on a back-to-back. I don't think they would limit his minutes here in this game, unlike they did yesterday. He played half of the third, didn't come back in after that. So at 7,200, you could definitely take a stab there. But for all that, I would rather just go ahead and get up to Amen Thompson, who has dual eligibility. We can fit him in at the point guard spot, small forward spot, or at either your guard or your forward or util spot over here on DraftKings. So to me, Amen is the best play. I'm not going to go down here to my guys like Cam Whitmore, who went off last night. Really wish you guys would have been able to see the video that I had, but I called this right here. I definitely did at least put it inside of the notes, so you were able to see it. I still like Kent Whitmore, man. That was just crazy what he went out there and did. Amazing game, amazing day, but don't look down there. Not today. We got the starters back. This game should be close, pretty tight spread and everything, fast pace. Let's look towards the starters. Şengün, Amen Thompson. Those would be the main two guys that I would want to get to over there. Jalen Green, more down here on the lower pecking order, and then Tari Eason. If he does start over Jabari Smith Jr., you can definitely go with Tari. Tari has a better upside than what Jabari can give. Jabari is one of the worst fantasy point per minute producers out there on the court, night in, night out. That's why I really do hate going to him when it comes down to it at the end of the day. Over here on the Indiana Pacers side, they're gelling, and I can't deny what I'm seeing from Tyrese Halliburton. He really looks like the All-Star break did him some good. I don't know who got in his ear, who whispered it to him, who let him know like, hey, we need you to do more. And we're seeing that. He's scoring pretty good over his last couple games. That unorthodox 3-point shot is clicking, is falling for him, but he's also playmaking. Double-digit assists in his last 5 games. Double-digit assists literally in the last 5 games. Playing really well. I know when he played versus the Rockets earlier this season, 30 minutes, he only gave us 18 fantasy points, but I do feel like this version of Tyrese Halliburton can go out there and give us a big night. We just saw SGA last night drop 73 fantasy points. 73. I'm not going to say that's what Halliburton can do, but we know that is in his bag, especially if he goes out there and gets like a 15 assist, 25 point game, along with a couple of the steals that he's getting out here on the court. Wouldn't mind looking towards Halliburton if you want to get something from that. If not, Hallie, definitely wouldn't mind looking towards Miles Turner, 6,400. That's what I'm saying. I don't have to play up for Şengün. Turner's in a pretty good spot right here as well. Versus them, he did put up a fantasy point per minute earlier this season, 29 minutes, 32 fantasy points in that game. Hartenstein put up a fantasy point per minute, 26 minutes, 26 fantasy points. Outside of that, Brook Lopez, 36 minutes, 35 fantasy points. Walker Kessler, 33, 41. So the upside is definitely there. I'm not too worried about Şengün. He does have bricks for feet. You definitely can play a big guy like Miles Turner that will jack up some 3-point shots, can stretch the floor. And I do like the upside, especially if Matthew's going to be out. That's more shots. That's more scoring that they are going to need over here from a lot of these players. And I do like the upside. Outside of that, Nesmith at 4,500. That price tag, man, is hovering right where I like it. His minutes with Mathurin not playing looks like they might be safe. He's at least going to play roughly about 25. But it's not just that. The scoring is actually starting to come around for him. We are seeing a little bit of confidence in that shot. 27, 7, 12, 17, 19. 4 out of his last 5 games, he's at least given us double-digit points in those games. Along with what he can do on the defensive side, long as he does not get himself into foul trouble, he can go out there and give us a decent night. I like him for the value at 4,500. That would be probably one of the plays I would go to. Outside of that, definitely could take a chance on Obi Top Dog. We know that he can get some love. If he gets hot from 3, they'll go ahead and they'll extend him. They'll give him some burn. Ben Shepherd, he's another one that's been getting some love, some burn as well, especially with Mathurin being out. Those probably be where I would look. TJ McConnell really isn't going to see too much of a boost, even with Mathurin being in or out. If you want to take a GPP chance, you can, but not something that I really want to get to. Toronto Raptors taking on Orlando. If you guys got any questions, make sure you guys drop them down in the comment section. Just let me know. I will answer them as soon as I see them. But yeah, Toronto Raptors taking on the Magic. Honestly, for me, it's the same old over here for me. RJ Barrett, Iman Quickly, both those guys, they have the better matchups. If Cole Anthony gets rolled out, I would say that Quickly, I do like the spot better for him because you're not going to be dealing with a pesty, necessarily super pesty defender in Cole Anthony who can be injury prone, trying to foul and hurt people. I do like the upside for Quick, 6,800, not a bad price tag. We're seeing it. The scoring has been there. We just need to get the assist to follow along, which we know he can get. Even with Scotty Barnes being back, I still don't mind taking it because Scotty's going to have to try to deal with Paolo. That right there, he got into foul trouble last time versus Orlando. I don't imagine he's going to do the same thing here again today, but if that was to happen, or Quick just decides, you know what, bump it. I'm going to put the team on my back. I'm going to do what I got to do today. I don't mind looking towards Quickly, but again, this game total and everything for this game is going to be one of the lower totals on the slate, sitting at a 207.5. I don't really see any need to have to try to pick some pieces from here, but if I was, it would be really the main guys for me. Quickly, Barrett, not too interested in getting up here to Scotty at 8K. I'd rather just flip the script, go into the other side, look at Paolo, look at France, try to get up to those guys instead, because I think they have a better upside. Now, GPP wise, definitely, I would say Scotty makes for an interesting GPP option just because he did get into foul trouble the last time. He played versus Orlando twice already this season, dropping 37 and 50 fantasy points in those 2 games. So if you want to mess with that, definitely can see a world where you can, but I'd rather stick with RJ Barrett, who the dude goes out there and he balls. 36, 37, 25. We're going to ignore that versus the Pacers. 5-15 from the field. Didn't play too great, and it was a back end of a back-to-back. But versus Boston, 37, and then 41 versus the Phoenix Suns. We could see maybe another 35, close to 40 fantasy point game, 7,100. I could take a chance on that, but instead, like I said, I would rather just come down to Quickly. And then Jakob Poeltl. If you see any wording in regards to his minutes, and if he's still going to be on, if he's not going to be on a limit, I can see myself getting a Jakob Poeltl, 6K, not a bad price tag for pretty decent fantasy point per minute producing center. I wouldn't mind going there if you could tell me he can get out there and play about 30 minutes. That would be a really great upside play for me. I wouldn't mind getting there as another value play at the center spot. Outside of that, of course, like I said, Chris Bouchard, maybe you might get your minutes for Chris Bouchard here today. Look towards it. But he's logging a couple of DMPs, so I don't know. Tread lightly on that one right there. Orlando Magic on their side, it's the main guys. Like I always say, it's the main guys. It's going to be France. It's going to be Paolo. They just have so much usage over here for what they do for their team that I don't see a reason why we need to look in another direction. What's the point? Outside of that, Wendell Carter Jr., definitely 5'5". He's playing his minutes, looking very good. Dropped 33.75 versus Toronto. So you have either one of these centers you can mess with on the slate. Jakob Poeltl, but possibly can be on a minutes limit. Wendell Carter Jr., just got to hope he doesn't get himself into foul trouble. That would be where I would look to right here if I am looking for a possibly low-owned center that you can get. Outside of that, if Cole owes me money, Anthony plays today, and you feel like you want to play Cole owes you money, Anthony today, go ahead. But I will not be playing Cole owes me money, Anthony, unless it is like no one else in the price range fits and I can't make it make sense. That will be the only way he will be in my line. Only way. And even if he is, I'm gonna have to make a second lineup just without him. Simply put, I'm gonna be very honest right there with that, man. He just aggravates the hell out of me. Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's going to play today. Trying to see if we got any more wording in regards to his minutes, just because Giannis is still going out there only playing 32 minutes legit in 4 straight games pretty much. He played 32 still here and there. I don't know why they're trying to bump it up, make it seem like he played more. They was putting belt to ass in this game. Anyway, but 59, 65, 53, 58, 30 fantasy. Well, that wasn't including 32, but he's still putting up over 50 fantasy points in this games. I know they might be just trying to limit him, get him ready for the playoffs, so it's cool, it's fine. I definitely don't mind it, but I do like him as a possible pay up for a stud. The Atlanta Hawks is always going to be a good game environment to try to target people and to go ahead and play them. Versus the Hawks early this season, he has dropped 53 and 74 fantasy points in both of those games, so definitely someone you could look if you don't want to go up there and play Giannis. You want to mess with Dame Dollar, who is going to have to deal with that Dyson Daniels defense, but seems like it has not truly affected him, and he has figured out how to work around it, because in the games versus them, 35 minutes, dropped 51.25 fantasy points in that game. The game prior to that, let's see if that game log is actually up here, 37 minutes, 50 fantasy points in that one, and then the game before that, 34 minutes, 39 fantasy points. So Dame has been cooking. If you don't want to play Giannis for the possible minutes limit, I can't see myself coming down to Dame Dollar. Wouldn't mind getting there, especially if Kyle Kuzma does get ruled out. That's definitely going to be more shot attempts, more facilitating rebounds, things like that for both Dame and for Giannis in this game. I wouldn't mind getting either one of those two guys. Torian Prince is someone I can consider. I know Prince, I want to say Prince did play for the Atlanta Hawks, so if you want to believe revenge narrative or whatever bullcrap that you got to put in your head for it, definitely you can mess with that. Hasn't had the best games versus them outside of the first game where he played 25 minutes, dropped 20 fantasy points in that game. So you can mess with Prince at 4,200, but if Kuz does get ruled out, I would imagine we would see probably, where's Jackson? Andre Jackson Jr., who was starting for them early in the season. I would imagine he might get the start. There's different ways they can go. Andre Jackson Jr. can get the start. They can mess around and start Gary Trent Jr. instead as well. Either one of those guys. And then, of course, one of my favorites, AJ Green. If he was to get the start, he would make a decent value. I know he likes to chuck whenever he's out there, so he'll be chucking the ball. But just pay attention to that right there. Kevin Porter Jr. is someone that I think should be just looking on your radars, because he has put up some pretty good fantasy point per minute numbers when he's out there on the court. I would only play him if a ton of people were to actually miss, though. But definitely something you can consider if you want to try to go that route if Kuz does miss. On the Atlanta Hawks side, again, they are on the back end of back-to-back. Over here for me, looking at them, I will say Trae Young. Of course, you can go there, you can mess with that, but I don't necessarily feel like this has got to be a Trae Young game. He did play pretty deep in the game last night, 36 minutes. Versus the Bucks, he has had some decent numbers, 61 fantasy points in 1 out of the 3 games he has played versus them. I really don't like playing my star plays on the back end of back-to-backs, especially players, jump shooters like Trae. I know he can facilitate and do a lot more things out there, but I would much rather play someone who has upside, such as Dyson Daniels, who can go out there and get me those steals, those blocks, also can facilitate and do a lot of things on the court besides be one-dimensional and relying on his scoring. Last night, he dropped 33.25 fantasy points in 33 minutes versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Versus the Milwaukee Bucks so far this season, 2 out of the 3 games, he has at least dropped 30-plus fantasy points versus them. So I don't mind looking towards Dyson Daniels as a possible play. Oneko Kongwu would be another one I would consider. He just smashes whenever he gets the minutes in the burn, and this is another spot where he'll be able to. He can stretch the floor just as much as Brook Lopez, and he can also dish the rock as well. Karis LeVert plays off the bench, but the revolving door over here for the Atlanta Hawks is what they do at the power forward spot, because they start players like Barlow, they'll start Guy, but they only play them about 15 minutes. Because then they'll go to the bench, they'll play guys like Georges Niang. He'll go out there, he'll get some burn and run, which Niang will be prime candidate to go out there and play like 25, 28 minutes again tonight. Or Karis LeVert, who they picked up, of course, in that trade. He's going out there getting some burn and run. And then Terrence Mann, he's playing quite a bit. And he also started the second half last night. Didn't give us the best outing. 16.5, first time that he's played 29, well, second time he's played 29 minutes, but not the best outing from him in that game versus Memphis. I still like him for the upside, 4,100. I feel like he has roughly, his ceiling probably is going to be roughly about 28, 29 fantasy points. His floor right now is looking like it's going to be about 16. Definitely will be someone I would consider over here as, like, if I land on it. If I got to choose between Cole, Owes Me Money, Anthony, and Terrence Mann, I'm playing Terrence Mann. That's how I would just straight up just cut it straight up, just right there. Golden State Warriors taking on the New York Knicks. Like I said, we got to know if Curry's going to be in or out. It is a back-to-back. It's very interesting. He rolled his ankle during the game on Monday, but was able to stay in the game and finish with 21 points, 10 rebounds. I could have sworn that it was 10 assists. Yeah, 21 points, 10 assists. Somebody's got a typo. So if Curry does play, plays in the Garden, I don't know what it is, especially star players. They do like to hoop. They like to show out and everything. I don't mind getting up to Steph Curry. Would be probably lower on just with that Q tag, especially if we don't get the news before lock. Again, it is Steve Kerr. it is Steve Kerr. That is just the one scary thing when it comes down to it. Hasn't played going up against the Knicks at all so far this season, so definitely going to be interesting. This will be the first matchup for these guys on the year. So Steph Curry, 9,400 makes for a decent option that we can get. Definitely going to be probably lower owned than Dame in a great matchup versus the Hawks. So I do like it as a difference maker. But if Curry was to miss, that's going to be a boost to everyone. Like I already said, Draymond Green, Podominski, Jimmy Butler. I would imagine he would get some more facilitating duties. And I can see a world where Quentin Post gets the start, just simply because if Towns is in, you're going to need a size. And he is a big that can stretch the floor. He goes out there, as you can see, takes a pretty good number of three-point attempts and decently a pretty good shot. Outside of that, he can give you some defensive stats and also some rebounding stats as well. So I wouldn't mind looking towards Post if Curry was to be out and he gets to start. He has to start for me. If he doesn't start, I'm not going to go there. Besides that, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler being there has been a good thing for this team. Legitimately a good thing. Draymond at 6'1", I like it. I do not mind this price. With Curry in, with Curry out, I will still look and go there because the Knicks are going to do whatever other team typically does. Draymond, shoot that three. Draymond, do what you do. That's what it's going to be right there. So don't mind looking towards Draymond Green. Definitely would be a play for me. And then Podominski at 5,900. The kid is just a hooper, bro. Can stuff the stat sheet. Loves to get on the glass out there. Defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds, you name it. He's going to go out there and do it. Opposing two guards that have going up against the New York Knicks. I don't feel like he's going to have to deal with too tough of a defense like Josh Hart or OG Anunoby. That's going to be safe for Jimmy Butler. That's going to be safe for Steph Curry out there. Mikal Bridges should be on Curry. That should open up the floor and the room for Podominski to go out here and have a decent day with whatever he can go out there and give us and do. Desmond Bane, he dropped 45.50 versus the same New York Knicks team. That's pretty damn good. Derek White, 44.25. Donovan Mitchell, 44 as well. The sky's the limit in regards to what Pod can do with Curry, without Curry. Either way, Draymond Green and Podominski would be two plays I would look to, and I wouldn't mind getting to. Curry's out. Jimmy Butler would be like, Jimmy, you're going to have to do something. Like, legitimate, Jimmy. We need you to give us a bubble Jimmy performance in regards to it. On New York Knicks side, if Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be out, then I want to play Jalen Brunson. I want to play Josh Hart. Those be guys that I'll look to right there. If Towns is in, then I like Towns. If they're going to start Draymond Green on Karl-Anthony Towns, Towns should be able to kill on the glass. Opposing centers have actually been able to have some pretty decent rebounding games going up against them. Prime example, Mark Williams for the Charlotte Hornets, going up against them. 33 fantasy points in the first game recently, and then 36 last night. Andre Drummond, 31 fantasy points in 21 minutes. Wendell Carter Jr. in 27 minutes, 33. None of those guys are Karl-Anthony Towns, but they're all pretty good rebounders. Karl-Anthony Towns can rebound. He can also dish the rock and get us some good assists. Can play some defense as long as he stays out of foul trouble, which he has been a little handsy over his last couple games. 4 fouls, 5 fouls, 4 fouls again. So Karl-Anthony Towns definitely would look, turn my radar right there, especially if that scoring is going to be there. And he's just like, I'm going to knock it down from 3. That'll be a good day out there for me. Real good day. I'll take it. 9,800 gets me off the Şengün right there. I can mess with that. If he's going to be out, then of course Precious Achiuwa, he's going to play more minutes than Mitchell Robinson because Mitchell Robinson is still coming back from his injury. But you can mess with Precious Achiuwa. We know he can stretch the floor, play some decent defense, things of that nature. But it would definitely be Jalen Brunson if Towns was to miss over here for me. Cleveland Cavaliers taking on Chicago Bulls. This should, depending on who's in and out, this might be a slaughter. The Cavs, I want to say they're on a 11-game win streak right now, 10 or 11-game win streak. So pretty big for them in regards to what they're doing. Main guys would be in play, but if you want to believe in the possible blowout narrative and that the starters are not going to have to play too deep, definitely I can see where you're going to want to look towards Ty Jerome. But that 5,100 price tag, that's a little bit too uncomfortable for me unless I know for sure Ty is going to have to play the minutes. That's what I need if I want to actually go out here and play Ty. But Ty Jerome would have to be in contention to play Sam Morrell, DeAndre Hunter. Those would be the guys that you would look to off the bench if you want to believe the blowout 12-point spread narrative. Now, if you don't want to believe the narrative and you want to take either way, the stars got to get us there and do what they got to do. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, all three of these guys are great plays. And honestly, Jared Allen, he should be able to go out here and smash in the spot. You're going up against Zach Collins. We know Zach Collins can be handsy, get himself into foul trouble. But outside of that, going up against Vooch whenever he has played versus Vooch. Last game, 51 fantasy points versus the Chicago Bulls. This should be a much easier matchup in spot, and no Evan Mobley out there to take his rebounds. Jared Allen at 6,200 is high value on today's slate, and I'm be very honest, is one of my core pieces that I've already started making my mock lineups and building around. The matchup is great on paper, everything for him, and no Mobley, his rebound chances should go up, and I like the spot for him as well. So definitely going right there. If I got to choose between the two studs, you definitely can, of course, go with Donovan Mitchell, but I think he might be higher owned. So I do like looking at Darius Garland, 7,500 price tag. Can go out there and give us a decent day. Not bad. Dropped 35 and 47 fantasy points in the 2 games that he did play going up against the Bulls so far in the season. So the upside definitely would be something for him there. We can mess with that. We can go there. That's not bad at all. And then if you want, I would say look at some type of ownership projections, honestly. Whoever's going to be lower owned, I would play that between the two because this is just a great spot that they can actually just pop off and go off. Ty Jerome again. I just keep looking at it. One play that I will give you for sure over on Prize Picks. I know they have Ty Jerome at 1.53s made. He's hit that in like 5 out of his last 5, and he's been pretty consistent when he's getting at least 20 to 25 minutes. I see him more than likely getting that here today in this game. So that was one play that I wouldn't mind playing over on Prize Picks. On the Chicago Bulls side of things, really, we got to get that news on if Josh Giddey's going to be in or out, because he's been the difference maker for them consistently over these last several games. But if Giddey's going to be out, Lonzo Ball's going to be in. Lonzo, he should facilitate, do quite a bit. Definitely, you can look towards Kobe White. He's going to facilitate, be able to do a little bit over here for them. Both those guys will be in contention and play. But I would imagine we might get a start from Trey Jones if Giddey is going to be out. Played 27 minutes in that last game for him versus Indy. 5 of 6 from the field, 6 assists, 3 fouls, but 19.5 fantasy points. Not bad for, I'm pretty sure he was like maybe 3K, 3.2. I would look in that direction if you're going to tell me he's going to go out there and probably no Giddey. No Giddey. Facilitating pretty much is what he can do. We just need him to go ahead and score and play defense. I wouldn't mind taking a chance on Trey Jones at that 3,900 price tag. That's not bad. He's going to have to play. Someone's going to have to play the guard spot. Outside of that, no Zach Collins to have to deal with. My boy Buzelis, 4,700. Not no Zach Collins. No Evan Mobley to deal with. Buzelis, he's going to go out there, do what he's been doing over the last several games. If Giddey's going to be out, that should up his rebound chance as well, along with Zach Collins. Both those guys should be able to somewhat try to contend on the glass. But Buzelis, I like it, 4,700. The price has been coming down on him, but he's still giving us some decent games. It's a mixing pot. He is a rookie, but he can still go out there and deliver in the time frame that he's going to be out there. Wouldn't mind getting towards him as another play. But really, this all just comes down to injury news over here for these guys. We have to have that news, and I can't really give a clear shot over there for them. Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Minnesota Timberpups. Tyrese Maxey is already going to be out. If Paul George plays, if Giddey doesn't play, Chicago may not want to be in the play-in. Chicago doesn't need to be in the play-in anyway. Like to make the play-in, you would be looking like Philly right now trying to make the play-in. If you're Chicago, there's no reason, there's no rhyme or reason for you to make the play-in at all. You need to just continue to develop the young guys, give Buzelis the minutes, let him go ahead and develop that chemistry because he looks like a decent building block with him and Giddey. I know that you're going to do something when it comes down to it in regards to having to probably trade Lonzo in the offseason or something, or Kobe White. Somebody's got to go in that rotation. You can't run a 3-guard lineup forever. Like it does not work. You're going to have to actually get you some type of 3 that can actually come in over there. Kobe at the 2 was actually working. Don't mind that at all. Giddey, of course, is going to be a 1. That's where he has to play. You got a good building block in Buzelis. Get rid of Vooch. Go ahead and actually build on a center. I'm not saying Zach Collins is your starting center of the future, but he's decent for the time being that you have right now. Good point, Janice. Players don't tank. They don't, but sometimes they go out there and they give half effort. That is very true. They do go out there and give that, especially if scores like 25 down. Sometimes they just be like, whatever. And the Chicago Bulls team is the same team that just earlier, lost by 45, 50 points earlier this season. Well, not even earlier. A couple weeks ago. Philadelphia 76ers over here. Tyrese Maxey is going to be out. If Paul George plays, Paul George, just the uses that he should have. And if he's not going to be limited, It's a matter of if that shot's going to fall. Now, I will say, before he got injured, before he had to miss with that groin, he looked like he might have been turning the corner. Still a little ticky-tacky with the fouls, but rebounding, playmaking, and also the scoring was coming around. If he plays at 7,400, if I'm getting 35-minute playing Paul George, trying to keep this game close. I know the matchup is tough. He's going to be dealing with Jaden McDaniels out here for him. I still wouldn't mind taking a stab at self-proclaimed playoff P, which we never have gotten to see at all still, no matter how many times he's made the playoffs now since he made that name. Would look towards there. If Paul George is going to be out, you already know Kelly Oubre Jr. is probably going to be the most owned 76er on the slate. Simply because you don't have Maxey, you don't have Embiid, you don't have anybody out there that can go out there and get a bucket like Kelly O. I would play him 6,400. I don't mind that price tag. If Quentin Grimes is in, you could definitely go there. Hopefully you can lightning strike twice. Can we get another big game out of you where you're going to give us a 45 plus? Now, I'm fine with the 30 at 600. At 6K, I can take that. I can take that 30. But definitely, I would play Kelly O. Fresh legs. Didn't play last night. Hopefully, it was just like a hold him out because we're on the front end of back-to-back. We'll make up a fake injury tag for you type thing. I would take Kelly O. 6,400. I imagine that Grimes would be more owned anyway, especially if Paul George gets rolled out for these guys. Yabusele is someone that you can consider, but I feel like if he starts and he plays out there, his upside is very limited playing next to Drummond. I like it better whenever Drummond is not out there or something like that because he doesn't rebound the ball. He doesn't have to rebound because you got a great rebounding big in Andre Drummond out there. That's one of the things that kind of kills it for him. But still, Yabusele, consideration, just in consideration, not really where I want to go to. I would much rather, of course, just get down here and just play Andre Drummond, he's balling. 29 minutes last night, 55, broke the fucking slate fantasy points. Drummond has always been a really great rebounder, and I don't think that's going to change. You're going up against a Wolves team that actually does shoot the three quite a bit. I can see that here again today. Outside of that, if Paul George misses, hopefully we get this news. If Paul George misses, or whatever they decide to do with the start line, or if Edwards misses, we might get Lonnie Walker starting. Might. And if they start Lonnie Walker, you see it last night, 28 minutes, 29 fantasy points. The dude is a bucket. I was straight up 3-3. That's the value on the slate right there. If I can't even get the words right and just be able to say them. If Lonnie does get the start, bro, you got to consider Lonnie Walker at that 3-3 price tag. And I mean, with the players that they got out, I might even just consider Lonnie in my player pool. And if I'm trying to fit a certain amount of studs or something like that today, and I have to play a dirt cheap 3K player, Lonnie Walker would be where I would look to, because the game gets out of hand. Lonnie should still be out there and be able to ball because he's trying to play to stay in the league right now. Just like what you just said, Janice. Players don't tank. Lonnie's not trying to tank. Lonnie's trying to make sure he can stay on a team and be able to be in the league and continue. He's bounced around so many times now. It's ridiculous that he can't even stay on a team. The kid is a bucket. I love his game. I love what he can actually go out there and do. But definitely would be upside. And then if they start Jared Butler, he's another one that you would actually have to look to and can consider. When he gets the minutes, the dude is a fantasy sport per minute producer and honestly really good playmaker. Would make life very easy for players like Drummond, Yabusele, Kelly Oubre if he gets to start as well. So that's 2 3K players that you can look to from Philly right there. Yeah. If Paul George doesn't play, Lonnie Walker trying to find a home in the NBA. Yes. Like he is legit trying to find a home in the NBA. But definitely keep an eye out on that 76ers news, because just like how last night, the Houston Rockets, that value that you got in Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore, this is your value right here in this game. Lonnie Walker, Jared Butler, both of those guys are who you want to just pencil in, just keep an idea, because you play. Honestly, I would only be playing something from this Houston and Indy game when it came down to it for me. Toronto, I really don't care too much to try to get something from that game. Milwaukee, Atlanta, of course, Giannis, Dame, that would be where I'm going right there. Golden State, New York, depends on how that news shakes out. But we should have this by the time close to lock for these right here. So that would let you know if you can go ahead and squeeze that in, because then really, I mean, ain't too much that you got to get from the Brooklyn Nets and San Antonio Spurs. It would all really be just these 3 games that we're trying to really fit studs and stuff in anyway, at least in my eyes. This is one of those slates where, yeah, that weird, nasty looking game is going to be the game that takes it down. I can see it being the Houston Rockets. Like I can see it being the Houston Rockets and Indy, being a game like you play Halliburton, Amen, and shoot, Siakam for a random pop-off game, or Siakam and Amen in this game, and run it with like Giannis somehow, and then you got that value from this game right here, like just straight up. That's how I can see it. It would be one of those weird slates just like that. Promise you, it's gonna be just like that. Like it's crazy. On the Philly side of things, Anthony Edwards is Anthony Edwards. I don't have to talk about that. You're going up against the corporate Philly. Like, that's it right there. It's Ant. You can get up there to that 9.3 price tag. Go ahead. Again, I got Steph Curry at 9.4. Who makes a difference? I got Dame that I can get to instead. And I'm talking about the guard position. I understand he's a shooting guard, but still, you can go up there to those things. Nas Reed, long as Rudy Gobert is out, he's going to get the start. But I will say with Julius Randle, if he plays, I kind of feel like it caps the price that we're paying for Nas now at 7.8. I would much rather just come down here and play Julius Randle, especially if he's not limited. Why would I not just come down and play Nas Reed at 6.5 versus playing Nas Reed at 7.8? The shot attempts, of course, are going to be there. We know he can rebound. We know he can assist and get us it's a couple of defensive stats if he decides to play that hard. So I would much rather play Julius Randle if he's in no minutes limit. If that news comes out, that's where I would be able to go. Wouldn't necessarily mess with Mike Conley or anything like that. Instead, Dante DiVincenzo. The minutes are ticking up slowly. Wouldn't be surprised if they go back to letting Dante start and Mike Conley come back off the bench again, because 23, 26, 27 is tonight. Are you going to play 30? Because he's put up over a fantasy point per minute in all three games, 43, 36, 27. I could see a safety net of 30 fantasy points if you're going to tell me he's going to play 28, 30 minutes. I mean, if he plays 30 minutes, he definitely can go out there and get us what? 40? Like, it's because he does it so efficiently across the board. He's getting you those defensive stats. He's knocking down that three ball because he is a high volume 3-point shooter. He's getting those right there. On top of that, we know he can play make if he decides that he wants to dish the rock. And I mean, won't be surprised when that connection between him, Nas Reed, or something like that is really clicking. It's going to be there for him. Easy day. Anybody got any questions or anything like that, make sure you guys drop them down in the comment section. I will answer those. If you guys want to talk about some props and things like that, I can definitely go through and look at those as well. But if not, once I finish up this last game, I'm going to go ahead and finish getting the rest of my content posted over there on the Patreon and drop what I'm going to drop for you guys over there on YouTube. So please drop them down. Drop those questions down in the comment section if you guys got anything, and I got you guys. Late night, or not late night hammer, but the late game that we got the Brooklyn Shitters taking on San Antonio Spurs. For me in this game, straight up, D'Angelo Russell, X him off, because he's coming back from injury. He has not played at least 30 plus minutes in a grip. So I'm not playing that 5-4. Instead, I don't mind Cam Johnson, who shows that he can play 30 minutes out there if the game stays close enough. I don't see San Antonio Spurs blowing them out. Cam Thomas, interesting. Not saying I'm going to go there. I got to see him play at least 25 minutes. That'll be when I'll go there. But Nick Claxton going up against Bismack Biyombo in a spot that he's actually played pretty well going up against the Spurs. Granted, that wasn't versus Bismack. It was versus when Wemby was out there. I don't mind a Nick Claxton. The game stays close enough. He's out there to be able to get his minutes. Opposing centers, even with Bismack being out there, have cooked. Isaiah Hartenstein, 35.25 fantasy points. Jaren Jackson Jr., when they started him at center, he dropped 59 fantasy points. We know the upside is there for Claxton to go out there and just pop. He played 33 minutes versus the Spurs earlier this season, dropped 33 fantasy points. Again, that was versus Wemby. But at 5,700, that's why I told you guys, the value, like the mid-tier options we have at center today, is good. You legit have some real good options at the center pot. Zach Collins, Andre Drummond, Nick Claxton, like that's freaking Oneko Okongwu, like those guys, Brook Lopez. We got some decent value right here at the center spot today that we can really work with and pay up for a decent type stud, because and of course Jared Allen, like we got that today. Outside of that, the only other player that I ever like rostering over here on the Brooklyn Shitters is always for me Zaire. Well, Zaire and Keon. These are the two that I normally would go to. I don't mind getting to either one of those guys, but real talk, Nick Claxton's probably gonna be my favorite one over there from the Brooklyn Nets. That's honestly where I would go if I'm taking something from over there. On the San Antonio Spurs side, all right, Brooklyn low-key trying to make the play in. Fox hand is not looking too good. Is Fox dealing with a hand issue? Is that what's been going on with him? Fox iced the game for the Spurs in final seconds with a clutch mid-range jumper. Yeah, Fox hasn't really been balling out too much for us. I do like Fox here today. I think maybe Fox can actually go out there and give us something decent. I mean, we've seen Shaedon Sharp go out there and drop 40 on the Brooklyn Nets, and kind of the same archetype. He has Cook versus the Nets, 44 and 43 fantasy points in the 2 games versus them. But if you're telling me that Fox is dealing with some type of ailment, then Vassell would be literally just the next best thing up right over here from them. Devin Vassell at 5,600. You're looking at De'Aaron Fox, but not De'Aaron Fox. Like, he can play make, he can play some defense, but he will take the 3. And if he's cooking, he can give us a 40 plus fantasy point outing. So Vassell would probably be what I would look to if Fox is truly dealing with something. I'm not going to rule out De'Aaron Fox. You can still play Fox. Definitely wouldn't mind going there. But Vassell would be someone who's definitely on my radar. Bismack Biyombo, it is still the Brooklyn Shitters. You still can take centers versus them. But as you can see, those minutes, they are trending down for Biz. 4,800 is a bit rich to pay for him. You might as well just go ahead and play Nick Claxton on the other side. That's exactly where you should go. Shochan, it looks like his minutes have actually started to tick back up. And if you're going to give me 25 to 30 minutes of Shochan being out there, I'm going to have to definitely consider and play him. Versus the Nets earlier this season, he dropped 37 fantasy points in 34 minutes. So 5-5, that's good right there. I would definitely take that over anything else. Chris Paul, I ain't got no good things to say about Chris Paul. I just can't. I can't with CP3. I would not go there, honestly, when it comes down to it. But hey, that's gonna be it right there for me, guys. So hopefully you guys were able to get something. So real quick in the comment section, what is y'all's favorite game on tonight? I'm gonna see if I can drop a real quick parlay for that game. Because right now, looking at it, let me see. Let's look at the totals real quick. Open up over here. Let's look at the game totals. Let's see what totals are we working with. We got a 207, 231, 4.5 point spread. I like that right there. 227, 244. The Bucks and the Hawks, 5.5 point spread. I just don't like the fact the Hawks are on the back of a back-to-back. But I mean, Giannis 25. Giannis double is should be free right there. I mean, shoot, if he decides he wants to actually dish the rock to today, Dame for about what, 5-6 assists, that could be a thing. Take a chance on Trey for his assists in this game. Dyson Daniels for his rebounds, for his points as well. Brook Lopez for his threes. I could definitely see something like that and that right there. Golden State, Phoenix and the Clippers. Oh, yeah, that's on the late night right there. Phoenix and Clippers. I might mess with that. Is Kawhi in? Kawhi playing in that game? So the without Powell, without Simmons, without Derrick Jones. So yeah, Harden, Kawhi, Zubac, that would be like a really good props that you can get from all 3 of those right there. And then Phoenix on their side, Booker. Got to know if Beal's going to be in or out, because that definitely does mess with what they do over here. KD and Bobo. Nick, I mean, shoot. Honestly, between these two, probably wouldn't mess with Nick Rich, but definitely Bo, KD, and Book. That's what I would go with. Golden State versus the Knicks. Golden State versus the Knicks is a 227 total, 5.5 point spread. I definitely think Curry plays with what they got right there. Do you think we need a value stack? No. There's enough. So we only have one stud to pay up for on today's slate. That's Giannis. There's only one player over 10K. Like, I'm not tripping, right? There's only one player that costs anything where you're trying to make a crazy value stack. Okay, 2. But personally, I'm not playing Trae Young at 10K off of back-to-back. Not going there. I feel like there's definitely some other spots we can get to right there. And then just all the value that you got at center and some of these mid-tier guards that we have on today's slate, I don't really think you got to stack any crazy value. But if that value that I talked about in Philly opens up, that's your value right there on the slate that could just let you go wild. And then also, depending on what we get from the Chicago Bulls team, if they actually have to sit everybody that's listed as questionable, that's going to be some key value right there. Trey Jones gets a start. I don't see why we're not going to look there towards that. Like, that's easy. Same thing, Golden State Warriors. If Curry does have to sit, Podominski's sitting at a nice mid-tier option spot right there at 5'9". Draymond Green at 6'1". Quentin Post, if he has to get the start at 46. Like, I don't think that you got to go crazy stupid value, but You know what? Real quick, I will build out. Hold on, wait. We just got some news. Alfred Şengün and Man Dylan Brooks available to play Tuesday first. Of course they are. Duh. Real quick, I'll give you. So looking at stud wise on today's slate, I'm pulling up DraftKings on my phone because I don't know what it is, but I don't like building my lineups on the desktop. I have to build them on my phone, probably just because I'm just so used to looking at everything on my phone. When it comes down to it, I cannot do the desktop. But I mean, straight out the gate, I already told you guys how much I loved Allen today. Definitely, you can go with Allen. You can go ahead and pair up Allen with like Darius Garland, or if you want to take the chance, go ahead and toss in my boy. Go ahead and toss in my boy Ty Jerome. But one of the safer plays, and if it gets you exposure to the early game, 4,500 Aaron Nesmith. 4,500 Aaron Nesmith. That lets you honestly build futuristic wise. Like, that's decent value that you can get right there and playing that right there. I would look towards that right there. I'm telling you, I feel like I might just rock. I might have to just make a lineup about with Lonnie Walker just in case. How you feel about Zion? You think he might be a one to show out? They just got to keep it close. Matthew was ruled out as well. Oh hell yeah, I love Nesmith even better. Aaron Nesmith without Ben Matthew has been balling out straight up. But Zion going up against LeBron, if they do the same thing that they did when Bron broke the scoring record the last time, hold the ball, all the extra crap. As the opposing team, you got to take that as a sleight of hand and go out there and try to just go ahead and kick some ass. But Zion, the way that he's been playing, I will tell you right now, the assist upside, which I watched the trend, looked at it. I saw someone else call it out on Twitter, and I'm going to give him a shout out. This is like straight up, no promotion, no affiliation with it. But Cody Betts on Twitter puts out some pretty good information. I'm very big on saluting those in the community that truly are really about this craft. Definitely check out his page if you guys do got Twitter. But he pointed it out in regards to the potential assists that Zion has been seeing over the last several games, and looking like Zion is the facilitator now for what they are running out there around this team. Love his assist upside. I actually took him for besides his double. I took his RA. Yep, his RA. His RA looks beautiful. I know it opened at like 11.5. I want to say it's up to 12.5 now, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least it's been bumped up a ton over on Prize Picks. If you can't get to Zion's RA, then definitely you could look towards Kelly Olynyk, who is also in the same boat. Opposing power forwards going up against the Lakers. Bron, granted, he's been playing some much better defense lately, but you can still go out there and be able to rebound versus a small team. Okay, Zion, he's sitting at 11.5. I would take that straight. 11.5 RA for Zion has been pretty cash money even before they did this. And his minutes, he should be playing still up there towards that 28, 30-ish minutes range. If we can get 30, Zion has played well versus the Lakers. He has. They have no rim protection. None. Zion is he's a miniature LeBron, just with bad weight. Like that's it right there. That's honestly probably where I would start building my lineup. Where I would start. Gives me a little exposure to the early game, which Nesmith is my favorite value play from the early game. Next behind Nesmith, he's not value, but Amen Thompson. I like him here today. Love the spot for him. The upside is there. Those are my main two right there from that. And then but yeah, Jared Allen, Okongwu in this matchup. Like I said, Okongwu, when he get minutes, has been money. I'll take that all day, every day from him. And then Jared Allen, man, the matchup versus them is just way too easy, bro. Just way too easy. Way too easy. I don't see how we can't go there at all. Yeah, Big Zoo should be able to eat here in this in that late game for a fact. Big Zoo. Wait, let me see. Oh, all right, 1 second. This one I was logged in. I don't know how the heck I got logged out. $18, 30K to first. I might as well just play the main right there. That's crazy. Clippers taking on Phoenix. James Harden, prime spot. Guards going up against Phoenix. That's an easy day right there. Kawhi Leonard, no minutes limit, sitting at 7-7, which I don't understand. Kawhi is going to be one of the most owned players on the slate. I do not understand how the heck this dude's price had. He's not on a minutes limit anymore. How have they not adjusted his price? I understand he's not on the main slate, at least on DraftKings, but 7-7 for Kawhi? Miss me with that. That is crazy to me. That is truly crazy. But yeah, no, Kawhi Leonard, 7-7. That's easy. No Norman Powell. It's Harden and Kawhi that's going to be doing everything in that starting line. Bogdanovich, maybe when he comes off the bench, if his shot is falling, would be a decent value over there for them. Chris Dunn, I doubt that anyone's going to be playing any defense on Chris Dunn. Coffee, I would take a chance on just because there's still no Derrick Jones Jr. So primarily off the bench, it's going to be Coffee, Dunn, and Bogdanovich. Those three will be the main guys. Big Zoo versus Phoenix, still opposing centers. They have cooked versus Phoenix. You could definitely mess with that and go there all day, every day. Harden would be probably the lower owned stud on this late slate because you got LeBron, Luka, Zion, and like I said, a mispriced Kawhi Leonard. When it comes down between the two, just like how my eyes gravitated towards his price, that's what most people are going to go and click. They're not going to click Harden. Straight up, they're not going to click Harden in this spot. On the Phoenix side, of course, Kevin Durant, Booker, you don't got to really talk too deep into those two. Even with KD being guarded by Kawhi possibly out there on that, I mean, it's KD. I will say he's been kind of hit or miss because if he's not going out there doing anything extra on the peripherals, he's not doing enough out there because he's going out there still dropping roughly, I'll give him 25 for the average, but it's not enough for me, especially at 8-7. I would, of course, rather come down here. I could mess with D-Book at that price. That's good. Bobo, long as they keep pricing this dude under 6K, it's money. Who do they actually have on the Clippers side that can match up size-wise with Bo? And if Bo's able to knock it down from 3 and do what he's been doing consistently, that's wow. Jared Allen, Beal would have to miss, honestly, for Jared Allen to be in consideration because then his minutes would be more secure and you can mess with that. Nick Rich, if you want to get funky, if you want to get like real funky, you can mess with that, but that's not in my forte of what I want to go to. Pelicans, Zion, I mean, that's an easy day. Kelly Olynyk, long as he's in, 5,600. I would take that just because he's a stat sheet stuffer when he's out there. He's going to be doing everything. Trey Murphy, you don't got Austin Reeves out there. Maybe Dorian Finney-Smith should be in the starting lineup for Austin right here. I could see everyone trying to focus on what Zion's doing. Definitely don't mind the upside for Trey Murphy. That could be one. Sneaky one to me would be, hey, they do got another guard who can knock down some shots. CJ McCollum, but Zion, of course, would be the main one. Kelly O, love the upside for what he can bring. Alvarado's a bit too much now, even though he is playing right around 25-ish minutes now-ish, but nah, wouldn't go right there. Bruce Brown, sneaky. He's not on the injury report, a good fantasy report per minute producer and player. That would be one of your value plays you can get over here from the Pelicans on the slate. Definitely can mess with that. BJ Boston, nah. Jeremiah Rice, or nah. Matovic, someone will have to miss for me. Want to really play Carlos right there. Cat is out. Cat is what? Oh my fuck! Damn. 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 Damn, Cat. Now I gotta play some Knicks. Damn. Okay. Let me finish this real quick. Hawkins has been getting the burn, and he's been knocking down the shots. That's been the key for him. But if he's not knocking down those shots, and just like we got that 22 minutes, only 8 points, he's gonna give you something cheap and bull like that. That's exactly what he's gonna give you. Now, this is one of those spots where Hawkins possibly could pop, because if you pay attention to what the Lakers have been doing, they have actually been letting shooters shoot. They have just been getting lucky that ain't nobody making no shots. That's been the key right there. In all honesty, I wouldn't mind messing around with like the Pelicans money line, not the money line, but take some juice. Like I wouldn't take, I mean, shoot, Pelicans plus 9.5. I would mess around with that Pelicans plus 9.5. I would not be surprised the Pelicans actually keep this game close, because having the Pelicans won like the last, they won 2, 3, 4. So they lost that one versus Dallas. So they won their last 4. Granted, that was Utah, but Phoenix, that's not an easy out. San Antonio Spurs, yeah, no Wemby, so maybe, but that plus 9.5, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I mean, shoot, versus Dallas, they didn't lose by that much. Versus Sacramento, no. OKC, I mean, that's the Thunder. Versus the Kings, no. Denver, that's Denver. Dallas, nope. Toronto. How the heck did y'all lose versus the Charlotte Hornets 92-123? What the hell? You know, that plus 9.5, that's yeah, no. I take that plus 9.5. I definitely would take that plus 9.5. Yeah, I definitely did that plus 9.5. I would definitely. Oh wait, I got log. Let me log on to let me log on real quick to my DraftKings. But yeah, no, I'm taking that plus 9.5. I'm taking that. Oh dang, it got bumped down to 9. Still. It's minus 112 plus 9 for the Pelicans. I'm taking that. Oh, come on. Don't do this crap to me. Recheck my location. Come on. Boom. All right. Yeah, no. I went ahead. I took that. That's crazy. All right, Lakers side of things. Of course, Luka, he's going to play. LeBron's going to play. They are without Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Goodwin. We should see minutes for Gabe Vincent, which I want to say he started the last time with no Austin Reeves. That's your value right there as well, because it is the Pelicans still. We do play opposing guards versus them. Dorian Finney-Smith, he should get starting as well. He's not the greatest fantasy point per minute producer when he's out there. I would possibly consider someone like Dalton Connect, just because he is going to play those minutes off the bench. I would rather take my chances with Dalton Connect, Jordan Hawkins type thing. That's where I would go to for some. I wouldn't mess with DFS. I would mess with Gabe Vincent. That's where I want to go to. Or I know Vandal's out there for defense, but he could have a random good rebounding slash defensive type game where he can give you this 24 and those 22 type minutes. So I wouldn't mind looking towards Vandal as well over DFS if I'm considering everything. And then I mean, Jackson Hayes is Jackson Hayes. He's there. I'd rather just go ahead and play Zubac if I mess with anything like that. But yeah, no. Connect, Gabe, LeBron, Luka, like that's honestly where I would go over here. Have they been giving Alex Len some minutes? No, don't even mess with that. I definitely might go ahead and lock myself into something real quick for the late night games now. Yeah, I'm probably gonna lock myself into something for late nights, because the player pool came together pretty easily for me right there with that. That was pretty straightforward right there with what I would want to build and do right there with that. All right, any other questions you guys got for me? Any props you want me to look at or something like that? I will go ahead and do it. But if not, I do got some content I do got to get posted up onto the Patreon real quick for everybody, and then get the core and stuff posted as well. Definitely, you know what, crazy play. I would take Pelicans for that 9. Timber Pups are gonna win that, of course. Cleveland, I mean, you can mess with Cleveland spread. I wouldn't take that 12.5. Then again, I mean, shoot, even if Giddey plays, there's no way the Bulls don't cover. I can see the Cavs. I'll take the Cavs for like, yeah, I can mess with the Cavs for a double digit 9.5. I'll take the Cavs to cover 9.5. I can see that. I can see that. It's the Bulls. It's the Bulls, y'all. Hey, no problem, gents. No problem. No problem. Damn, man, I cannot believe that shit right there. God dang it, Towns. You just had to do that. I don't know. I take, of course, the Bucks to go ahead and pull that win out. I actually like the Pacers to win this game versus the Rockets, if we're being very honest right there. So, real quick parlay I just threw together. I got the Pelicans to cover that +9. I got I got the Pelicans +9. I got the Cavs to cover 9.5. So just need them to go out there and score, win by 10. I got the Bucks money line, and I got the Pacers money line over here on DraftKings. It is a +570, which I don't know if you guys can see it down there because it. Yeah, okay, there we go. It's a +579 right there. So definitely check that out if you guys want to. But I know I am going to lock that in. So my unit size is 25. I actually will do half of that, which would be 1250, just because it is a parlay. And boom, 1250 to win 84 bucks. I actually like that. Pretty decent. 4 pretty good plays right there. All right, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Good luck to everybody. Thank you guys, everybody that